This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University. Today I want to talk about fiat slaves booing freedom money. This is Chris Pan, and he was the commencement speaker for what looks like a very early commencement at Ohio State University. I didn't realize colleges got out in early May these days, but the only reason we're bringing this up is because he happened to mention Bitcoin in his commencement speech, and I think it's very interesting the response that he got, and that's what I wanted to cover in today's video. So this was the context for his remarks. He said, this is a quote from his speech, "The mechanics of investing are actually easy, but it comes down to mindset. The most common barriers are fear, laziness, and closed-mindedness. Great investors are open-minded and understand things before other people." This is something we've talked a lot about over the years, that if you're going to invest, you shouldn't invest in things that have already come to fruition. Instead, you have to, as Wayne Gretzky puts it so well, skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. This is how you make money. You don't make money buying Amazon in 2020, 25 years after its founding, and everyone already realizes at that point that it has become a success. So you have to skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. And then Chris Pan goes on to say, so I know this might feel polarizing, but I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. I see Bitcoin as a very misunderstood asset class. This is when the booing began. I'll play it for you here.
But I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. No. I see Bitcoin.
And you'll notice as soon as he says the initial words, ask people to keep an open mind, the woman who's filming this says no. She's not interested in having an open mind. Now, why is this especially embarrassing? Well, it's especially embarrassing because as part of their campus shared values, Ohio State University encourages the open-minded exploration of ideas. The other reason this is so embarrassing is because the most popular major for the past 5 years at Ohio State has been finance. You wonder what they're actually teaching in this class for the $12,000 to $36,000. And it's quite ironic as well, if the people just bought Bitcoin instead of spending their money to study finance at Ohio State University, they would have a big leg up on life. In these finance classes at Ohio State, do they ever teach anything about central bank money printing, how it destroys the purchasing power of a currency over time? Probably not, since all the professors are probably stupid socialists and Keynesians. But this is the great irony here. All these finance majors booing Bitcoin and not really understanding even what he is saying, because he does provide this context for everyone to understand. If you're enjoying this video so far, I just ask you to click the subscribe button, give this video a like, leave a comment, question, suggestion for a future video. Also share this video with a friend or family member. Here's unfortunately the state of education in late stage fiat history. Lots of jumping through hoops, exploited by rent-seeking test companies, lots of parodying what the teacher says so you get a good grade, lots of indoctrination and very little true intellectual exploration, lots of closed minds, and lots of loud mouths on campus. Students are also being brainwashed, unfortunately, by the regime to be fiat sheep, led to the slaughter, taking on lots of student debt that's not dischargeable, even in bankruptcy in the U.S. This is great for Wall Street. It's not so great for household and family formation, which all get delayed when you enter early adult life with lots of debt. There's also zero understanding of the cost-benefit, some sort of cost-benefit analysis when it comes to tuition, what major you choose, and future employment. It's unbelievable to spend all this money and not get an education in Bitcoin. These students could have just stayed home, watched YouTube videos on any subject under the sun, probably learned a lot more, and by paying zero tuition, that probably would have left a lot of spare change for beer money and travel to far-flung locations around the world. Now, who else is responsible for the negative response to Bitcoin by the Ohio State University crowd? I'd say, and I would blame largely for this, the whole scammy crypto industry. It really has received a lot of negative connotations from people like Sam Bankman-Fried, Alex Mashinsky of Celsius, both of whom are scammers. And people who get wrecked by crypto may end up avoiding Bitcoin for the rest of their lives. So this is really the collateral damage that is so terrible by these crypto scammers. And this is yet another reason why doing crypto-like scams on top of Bitcoin is so ethically reprehensible. It's really like being abused by someone you trust and admire if you lose money on a Bitcoin scam. Regular retail investors have been and will continue to get wrecked by inscriptions, quote-unquote rare sats, which don't even exist, BRC20 tokens, runes, etc., other scammy projects, promoted by crypto VCs, including, unfortunately, people like David Bailey of Bitcoin Magazine, who has his own VC arm of the business that invests in crypto scams built on top of Bitcoin. For example, here's Build on Bob Spice, where you can earn spice or points by locking up your Bitcoin. Sounds like a very bad trade to me, and they are being invested in by UTXO Management, which is David Bailey's company, which will also sell you a JPEG for 10 Bitcoin. This Bitcoin Shroom number 2 is currently selling for about $630,000. 10 Bitcoin. So these are the kind of things, if you do these scams on top of Bitcoin and people get wrecked, it turns them off from Bitcoin for the rest of their lives. And so this is not something you want to see a flagship publication like Bitcoin Magazine promoting. But this is part of the context of why people are booing Bitcoin at Ohio State University. It's mostly the crypto scammers, and now these crypto scams have unfortunately come to Bitcoin as well, with the largest and first Bitcoin rune being down 85% in a month. We can only imagine who's gotten wrecked by this. I like this comment from Not Grubels. Laughing at this is pretty dark, considering these kids are likely already in huge debt and will be unable to afford a home for their future family for likely many decades because of how screwed up fiat currency is. I thought that was a great comment, as well as this comment from Jason Dean. In 2021, I contacted every university in the UK and offered a free seminar to teach Bitcoin and £10 worth of Bitcoin to every student who attended to get them started. The vast majority read the message but did not respond, and of those who did, almost all rejected me, called me a scammer, or assured me that their students had quote-unquote no interest in the subject. It's very hard to help universities these days. They're very closed-minded, as Alan Bloom put many years ago. Fortunately, not everyone at Ohio State is a complete idiot. We have Charlene Fadarepo here saying that her cousin graduated from Ohio State. She wasn't able to attend, but that she is a Bitcoiner, and is very happy to hear Chris Pan suggesting that people keep an open mind and consider Bitcoin. And it looks like Charlene's going to be getting her cousin Emma some Bitcoin as a graduation present. Unfortunately, I think the biggest losers in this Ohio State University audience will probably be many of the same people who in a decade from now will be asking the U.S. government to tax and go after Bitcoiners because it's not fair. American Hodl makes a similar point. I'm proud of this weird guy who gave this cringe speech. He clearly cares and is trying to help people. One day these boos will turn into envy, and it will be important to remind people that we earnestly tried to save everyone we could, even if it was embarrassing. As people said in the audience, they were extremely embarrassed for some reason to hear about Bitcoin. And then Hodl goes on to say, like my friend John says, if I ever talk to you about buying Bitcoin, that was my way of saying I love you. I love this tweet. I think it's a great way of putting it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.